Hey, welcome back to our Cafeteria Table podcast.
It has a name
Today's host,
now.
it does. Today's hosts are different from your original episode one host. We're going on a duo. It's Moody and
Sarah.
and we're excited to do the Halloween episode. Spooky.
Spooky. So, did you do any trick or treating? Because I just kind of stayed at home.
No, due to the apocalypse, I've decided to not trick or treat as much as I would have been doing if the world wasn't on fire.
Do you know what would have been a great costume? Bucky
What?
from the Avengers, because he already has a mask built into his aesthetic.
He does, and Bucky can go the safe route and still for Sebastian Stan at the same time.
Isn't only because I simp for Sebastian Stan, is also practical.
It's practical.
It's practical.
It's nice that they thought ahead in designing his costume.
Exactly. He even has that aura, which just says "Stay 6 feet away from me."
Right, it's the emo look, and it works every time. Speaking of, apparently being emo is back in session. A lot of dark clothing this time of year. It never left.
It never
as some
left.
say, as some claim. Right. With the rise of some emo streamers like the Corpse Husband and all of that going on.
You try to replicate his voice.
I did. I attempted. I attempted it really poorly. The Corpse Husband. The choke me. You know how it goes. It works. It's not to be made fun of. It's a legit voice interpretation by me. And it sounds great, doesn't it?
I'll leave that up to whoever decides to comment on it.
We have some scary stories queued up, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of these are from Reddit.
Alright, let's do story number 1, written by Goats Westakeno. I'm not going to spell it out. You guys just have to guess. And that's my spooky mood. You guys don't see this, but my face is getting visibly darker as time goes on. Oh, there's a
raven comes on your shoulder.
Yeah, it just shows up. I turn into Edgar Allan Poe past midnight. There's a blue moon out tonight. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why Anissa couldn't be here. She's going through her werewolf transition.
Right. I woke up gasping, shaking off the residual terror of a nightmare that was already fading from memory. It took me a second to register that my lights were off. It only took another second before pure terror hit me like a wave. I went to sleep with the lights on. I always have. I was done in a blind panic. Yeah, he is. That's why he's like, the lights are off. Oh god.
Oh god.
I'm gonna die.
It's definitely not a blackout or anything. It's
demon. No, it's crazy. It has to be a demon, and it sucks that he ends up being right.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. user goat was taken. No.
Spoilers, by the way.
Sorry.
He's reaching out in a blind panic, my right hand desperately searching for a light switch. I told myself it was probably just a power outage, like a normal person, but I knew there hasn't been power outages in my area for years. And that's how you know he's white. I reached the switch, but before I could press it, my arm froze in place, paralyzed. The paralysis crept down the right side of my body. I tried to will my Trekmia's arm into tapping the switch, but nothing can. I don't care. I exerted more and more effort to no avail. I tried pulling my right arm with my left hand, but it felt like something was holding it tight. I like his arm gets frozen this time, but his other arm can just do whatever.
No, but does his other arm get stuck too? Is this like a case of sticky glue? Is right arm stuck?
It's flex tape. His arm got flex taped to air.
Exactly. This is just another ad for flex tape.
In order to test our super sticky powers, we decided to glue this child's hands to the air.
They have repossessed.
You don't have it as bad as this kid?
Huh? Not as fast as
you don't have it. not as bad as this kid, and whatever a Confederate ghost decides to stop his jerking off hand, or another like scratching noise coming from the closet. My terror intensified as the noise grew louder. I turned my head to the left as my eyes slowly adjusted to the darkness. I squinted my eye and made out the outline of the lock that I'd put on my closet months ago. Something about it looked off. It didn't look right. The scratching was getting louder and louder. It was impossible to ignore. Oh wait, the lock was gone. It felt harder and harder to breathe. The door to my closet started to creak. The right side of my body was frozen in place, gasping for breath. I tried to swing my left arm over the light switch, but convinced that if I could just switch light, it would fix everything. The closet door opened slightly with a crack that made my breath run cold. I desperately tried my left arm to light switch, turning back to the closet in the process. That was a big mistake. My left arm froze in place. I struggled to move my body as the door opened even slightly wider. Another terrifying crack. I tried to turn my head to look at the closet. I couldn't. I couldn't move anymore. My back was to the closet. I heard the closet door open. I felt the presence behind me. I felt it chill on the back of my neck. I screamed as everything went dark. I woke up gasping. Ah, boo,
Ooh,
boo, boo.
this
I woke
person
up
is
gasping.
lazy in writing a conclusion.
Boo. Shaking off the residual terror of the nightmare that I was already fading from memory. Then I realized my lights were off. Ah, so that explains the night vision,
Yeah, this
right?
seems like a very unconventional hell loop.
Yeah.
Nothing
And if
interesting happens. It's just you wake up screaming like what the heck? Where's the
yeah,
spice? Where's the flavor? Where's the demons?
seeking, where's the spice? Where's it? He did have an easy closet. That's all the spice one needs.
Okay, next story. This is called Bedtime Stories by Prophetic C, a marginally better username than the last one. No offense
Yeah.
to Goat was taken. No. How's your little voice for the little girl? Daddy, will you tell
Okay.
me another story? She was
Thank
so
you.
cute when she wanted to be. Perfect child. I had always had a hard time telling her no. I smiled and sat back down next to her bed. Well, what story do you want to hear? Goldilocks? The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh? She shook her small head and giggled. No, Daddy. Those are for babies.
Please
I'm a
don't do
big kid. I'm
yeah,
a
that
big kid. I'm
she
five
was
and
only
three
cute when she wanted
quarters.
to be.
Really, I can sleep with my lights. I can sleep with the lights off and only my night light. And not, I only cry twice. Well, what kind of story? She scrunched up her face as she always did, and she thought hard. What about a scary one? I smiled, but inside I was more than a little confused. When did my sweet little girl wanted to hear scary stories? And for a second, I wasn't looking at my little girl, but a corpse. Corpse husband. That's a bad joke,
Wait,
I'm sorry.
oh no.
Rotted and tattered, staring back at me with milky white eyes, the voice a mockery of what my daughter would sound like. Daddy, are you okay? I blinked and there she was again, my perfect little girl. Why does this person keep calling his girl my perfect little girl?
People love their kids.
I see.
I wouldn't know.
It's not good to air your traumas out right now.
It's better when there's an audience.
A therapist would comment and be like, "Is the boy okay?"
Public therapist.
Yes. TikTok. Yes.
We have the emotional depth of Netflix TV show teenagers. That's what it is.
I am the Asian character that is a afterthought in order to be diverse.
And they always knock out two for one. The Asian character is also somehow very bisexual.
Ah, I'm also that.
But I'm glad we're making. Hey guys, did you hear that? Keep that in case your mother wants to listen to the podcast about scary stories and stupid
Scary
jokes.
stories. Okay. I smiled and kissed her forehead. It's late, baby. You really should get sleep. She reached out to touch my arm, and once again, she was not my daughter, but a mockery of life, a child who rotted away, in a voice raspy and old.
Your corpse voice.
Yes, the thing once again repeated. I screamed and kept back, flying against the door frame. I blinked and blinked, but a vision before me would not go away, and it began to laugh now. Okay, you say this part.
Daddy, don't you want to hug me? Don't you want to love your precious angel?
Okay, I guess.
Okay, just so we know, just so the audience knows, this takes a turn, right? It's a really big turn.
Oh, Jesus. I
You have the mental
remembered.
capacity for this.
Told my daughter. Her bitch of a mother had told me that she wasn't mine. She was taken from another man's seed. And I had snapped, and I killed them both. And then I had taken that gun and put it against my temple, and I pulled that fucking... Daddy, will you tell me another story? Oh, she was so cute when she wanted to be. The perfect child. I always had a hard time telling her no. I smiled and sat back down next to her bed. It could have been a trick of the light, but for a second, I thought her eyes flashed red. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you guys for joining our Halloween podcast episode, our spooky season podcast. And we are going to sleep now.
Yeah.
And y'all are going to enjoy what you just listened to. This has been your duo hosts, Moody and
Sarah.
and we're your favorite hosts. Thank you.
Bye-bye.